Hello world, my name is Paul with the Backyard Hibachi. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make Chinese takeout fried rice. Let's go. We're going to be using an extra long grain enriched rice today. It's going to be the Mahatma brand. And we're going to do about 2 cups, and that should be enough for 4 half orders or 2 whole orders. All right, let's go ahead and prep the rice. All right, that's 1 cup. 2 cups. All right, now we're gonna be rinsing our rice, and we're just gonna rinse the rice until the water becomes clear. So back when I was working at the restaurant, some of the hibachi places had a Chinese kitchen in them. Some of the owners would be from China, and so they would have a hibachi side, sushi side, and Chinese side as well. So I was fortunate enough to work in a few restaurants that had the Chinese side kitchen, and they focus solely on takeout. All right, let's do it. Let's go ahead and put this in the rice pot. And we're gonna use this line on our index finger for the measurement of water. Okay, that's good. All right, while the rice is cooking, let's go ahead and prep some more ingredients. We're gonna use white onions, and we're gonna dice these. So you wanna cut the ends off, cut the onions in half, and we're just gonna peel the skin. And we're gonna make cross sections here and then down this way again. And that'll give you nice diced onions. All right, next ingredient that we need is bean sprouts. And we're just gonna take a handful of bean sprouts. And that should be plenty. And the next thing we'll need is green onions. You gotta cut the tips off. And chop them up. And you don't want to chop these up as thin as you would the hibachi fried rice. Go ahead and put these in with the onions. All right, now let's go ahead and prep the meat. I'm using some leftover filet, and you want nice thin slices. At the restaurant, they're obviously not using filet, but I just have some in the fridge, so that's what I'm going to be using today. All right, that should be good. Now we're gonna marinate this. So we're gonna be using a mix of cornstarch and baking powder. You can also substitute the baking powder with baking soda as well. All right, now let's go ahead and add the cornstarch. We're gonna need 1 teaspoon of cornstarch and a half a teaspoon of baking powder. And the water, you're gonna go ahead and add 3 tablespoons. And we're just gonna go ahead and mix this up and let it marinate for about a half an hour. Let it cover all the pieces of meat. So we have our bean sprouts prepped, and then we also have our white onions and scallions prepped. We've got our meat marinated for a half an hour now. Let's go ahead and head over to the wok, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to stir fry the fried rice. So let me show you the equipment we're gonna be working with. It's a round bottom wok, and then I've got one of these wok holders to set on top. So that way you can set your wok and it'll be stable. Just clean out the wok a little bit. Check out the flame on this thing. It sounds like a jet burner. I'm gonna let that heat up a little bit, and then we're gonna throw some oil right on the sides, like so. We're just gonna let them run down the sides, and that way the sides are coated. Let's go ahead and add our beef. So this recipe reminds me a lot of my dad, who came to the United States in the early 80s. And he worked as a wok chef at chop sueys and Chinese takeout places from the early 80s until about the early 90s. I was speaking to him on the phone about the recipe, and he was saying traditionally at Chinese places, if you see a duck hanging, if they make their own Peking duck, they'll take all the drippings from the duck and then they'll use that to make a mother sauce for the fried rice and different stir fries. Nowadays, you don't see a lot of that in the takeout places. Add some more oil. This is the recipe that he used when he worked at the takeout places that were about speed and keeping the cost low. All right, now we're gonna take this beef out and we're gonna let it rest on the side here. I used to spend a lot of summers at the restaurant with my dad. You know, he'd be in the kitchen cooking up orders, and I'll just be at the front, kind of just playing on my own. Every few hours or so, he'd bring me out this beef fried rice, and I would eat it sweet and sour sauce from the packets. I'm gonna clean the wok a little bit. So add a little more oil for the rice. We'll go ahead and throw the rice in there. This is hot rice. You can use day-old rice as well. Add the rest. This recipe is so nostalgic for me, you know, as a kid, growing up in the early 90s at a Chinese takeout place while his dad is cooking up orders. This one is special to me. Let's go ahead and add the onion and scallion mix. And that'll give it the nice aroma that we're looking for. And we're gonna add the beef back in. Let's go ahead and add the soy sauce. The brand of soy sauce that we want to use is this Pearl River brand. It's a dark mushroom flavored soy sauce. And already you can smell the aroma. Of the fried rice. And that was about a teaspoon and a half. And let's go ahead and turn off the wok, add our bean sprouts. We're gonna add in a teaspoon of salt. Now let's put some in a bowl. And we'll transfer it onto the plate. All right, let's go ahead and try some of this fried rice. That's good. There's a lot of aroma, and typically this is what you taste at the takeout places, is the aroma from the scallions and onions, and the soy sauce kind of darkens it up, and then the salt is what adds the flavor. The wok as well adds flavor. When I was cooking, I add the soy sauce to the side, and that's what really gives it that smoky flavor, along with the wok being hot and transferring that smoky flavor into the rice as well. This is taking me back to the summer of '92. The beef is also very tender. It started out with filet, so it started out tender, and then as soon as we mixed it up with the other sauces, it became even more tender. I wish I had some sweet and sour sauce. Maybe I'll make a video on sweet and sour sauce. I know at the takeout place, they just have the sweet and sour sauce packets, but it would probably be fairly easy to make a sweet and sour sauce for a cook like this. That is really good. All right, give that recipe a try, guys. Let me know how it turns out. Thank you for watching. Until next time, peace.